Beyond the Veil, Navigating the Great Awakening, a special series on Survivor Angels.
It's time for Survivor Angels, an approach to strengthen trauma survivors. Here, you can escape what draws negativity and engage your positive abilities and the gifts that you've always had. Let's activate your angels. And to help you on that journey, here's Chaplain Jodi.
Jen, 2026 is said to be, by astrologers, by the lunar calendar, to be the year of the fire horse. When I say that, what comes to mind?
It really brings to mind that this is going to start off with a bang. We're going to start this year off not calm and easy, and no, it's going to light you up. It's going to get you jump started for setting up the rest of the year. So January is going to kick off with a start, starting with the full moon on the 3rd. And what that is basically starting with is illuminating things that we have let go, illuminating where we need to set ourselves up to go, and really highlight that.
Absolutely. And one thing that people need to realize, just because it's January 1st, doesn't mean that we are in the year of the horse January 1st. By the lunar calendar, it's actually not until mid-February. Yep. So this is like a transition time where we can, at least this is what angels are telling me, where we can really assess everything through 2025 to assess it.
Yeah.
Where did we grow? Where do we still need to grow? Why did this happen? What was it teaching me? Before we get to that point of the year of the horse, about mid-February. 2026 also is the year of 10. Last year was the year of 9. Year of 10 is known as the universal year. Yep. Because with 10, you have 1 plus 0, which is 1.
Right.
This is big as far as spiritual awakening, which means growth. It means shedding that old skin of the snake from 2025 and jumping on that horse. And here we go.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much, like you said, the Chinese New Year and our calendar year, Western culture are 2 different years. But yes, we can all agree that the changing of the year itself is incrementally in decades. So we learn in decades. And so we have the 1, the 10 year, 0 and 1, meaning 0 plus 1, 1, is the start of the new decade. And so what we really need to remember is that we've already gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is the shedding, the snake, very appropriate, to the full moon with a horse sprinting into the new year. There's a reason why astrologically these signs, symbols, etc. rise about. Now, like you said, not until March-ish are things going to actually become applicable. We're still doing the work. We're still highlighting, defining, shedding. I see so many people's posts online going, what doesn't serve me? Have you noticed that you're losing certain friends? Have you noticed that your relationship has changed? Do you notice that you're now not getting angry at things? People are waking up. This is just the prelude to this upcoming year that people are now becoming self-aware. They're opening their eyes. They're realizing, oh, wait, we're not really friends like we used to be. Why is that? Because you're growing, you're awakening, you're transforming, and that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to work. But I do see before we hit the March area, end of January, February, earthquakes, seismic activity. Why? because we're shaking things up. We're loosening and creating a new foundation so that we have stability jumping off the platform into the new year.
Right. I like to say that we're going through a purification, and it's a purification. God, there goes my ear again. I'm going to lose my ear a few times in this podcast. It's
Technology.
purification through truth. Because all of a sudden, I mean, you just think about the news, all of this stuff is coming to light, and it is going to start coming fast and furious. This is part of the chaos, and this is part of the fiery horse that's going to be charging on the scene, where all of a sudden, a lot of things are going to become quite clear. A lot of the restrictions that have been put on us, that we have been putting on ourselves, they're going to go away, because all of a sudden we're going to be going in our own minds, in our own consciousness. Wait a minute. I've been lied to. I've been sold a bill of goods, whatever phrase you want to put on it. And I am starting to see the light for myself. And
Absolutely.
I also think, as part of this, because emotions are going to be huge also, there has been so much anger in the world, and it has served no good for anyone. That realization is going to come to the front too, where, okay, I've been angry. Fine. We have to acknowledge our anger, but now it's time for me to put that aside and see where my place is in this, that can be positive, that can raise that energy level for myself, for my friends, for my family, for the world around me. Those are the sort of restrictions that I see happening now, starting in 2026.
Yeah. And the sense that I'm getting, especially with, Mars being in play and Venus and the sun, all this is coming into play during this time. So communication, lighting up different things. What I keep hearing is AI technology, finding out that we were misled. Catholic Church, Mormon Church, alien technology, all these things are going to start coming up where people are waking up going, wait a minute, I thought this. Or, oh my God, they're finally coming forward with this. I feel like there is going to be an awakening across the board where people's foundations might be rocked a little bit, where it's like, oh my God, government's telling us the truth finally about AI technology. They're talking about, having a cure for Alzheimer's or this kind of cancer. They've known about it, but they've kept and suppressed all this information. Information is going to start coming out where people, had one belief and now they're going to be open and awakened to a new truth. So I think that's part of the beginning of January is, like you said, an awakening, a wake-up process, a new order, medical breakthroughs. Those kind of things are going to start hitting and running with the surface.
Right. It's about alignment, in that you're starting to align, but are you standing in your own way of fully coming into that alignment? And that's where the horse is going to help us, this year of the horse. And so as we get through January, it's sort of like you're in the barn, you're brushing the horse down, you put the blanket on, then you put the saddle on, you get the saddle all hooked up, you put the bridle on. That's the path that we're taking now as we get them to the middle of February and into March, where then we're in the full year of the horse.
Yeah, I think there's going to be an opening of truth. And I think a lot has to do with like media, online. This is very communication based from what I'm hearing, and based on expose of the media and the coverage and things like that, people's minds are going to start questioning truth and change. I think you're very correct in the assumption that people are going to start making their own opinions. They're going to get tired of being lied to, and that they are going to create a new truth and let go of some of the illusions that they've been told. Even though things, are not adding up, they're still being told. I think people are now tired, and that kind of stuff is going to start coming to light. I really feel that.
People are restless. That's what I'm seeing, and hearing from people that I talk to is they're just plain restless. It's like, okay, things are starting. And so everybody's kind of all agitated and restless, like what's coming next? And
Right.
people are ready to move forward, not backward. And a lot of the systems that we've all had in our lives forever are going, not that they're going to be disappearing, but they're going to be changing. And they're going to be changing because of the restlessness in all of us saying, do change, however this needs to look, because we're tired of being stuck. We're tired of just running on that treadmill and not getting anywhere. It's the same old, same old. And we want progress. We want to move forward. We want to move into light, because we've all felt this darkness for God knows how long.
A long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something that our souls are now like really calling us to do. It called on us to do the work. It called on us to walk through shadows. It called on us to own our own stuff. So we're now ready to do that. But a lot of the outside sounds, the news, the whatever you're reading, TikTok, it's all noise. And it's not coinciding with what we're feeling at this time, which is making us anxious and unsure. I think people really kind of need to limit that exposure, especially this month, and really, really look to self. Where do I want to go? What intentions am I setting for this month to set me up for the whole year? Where am I now? Where do I need to release? Am I aligned? Am I doing the things that I need to do to keep me healthy, safe, in my own progress and growth? And I think that's something that people really need to look at, especially this month, like a purging, like you said. You're here. Let's get you set up. Let's get you moving in the proper direction so that you can grow even more this year.
You never cease to amaze me. The people that watch us regularly know that we don't talk before we do these.
Mm-mm.
So you don't know what I'm bringing with the angels. I don't know what you're bringing with your psychic abilities. But I just finished recording. I'm starting what's called the comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
The first one drops on the 1st of January. And it is about these things that we just take for granted and how they really are impeding our growth is what they're doing. They're impeding our thinking abilities. And then there's things that we take for granted that are really huge helps to us, but we just sort of slough them off to the side because we've adapted other practices. And we're like, well, that's just old hat. That's just old fashioned. But they have meaning in our lives. There was a reason why we were doing them. And we need to, I don't want to say bring them back, but we don't want to let them disappear. And that's what I'm bringing out in the comfort zone is basically get off of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it is doing you no favors.
If you look at everything right now, there are reasons why things are tried and true. There are reasons why we go to grandma's old, cold medicine remedies because they work. There's a reason why the Indians were so close to nature and the ground and the vibrational resonance that is there. We forgot to listen. And so now I look at, Whole Foods and these other places and eat organic and go back to no pesticides and go to, growing your own stuff. There's a reason why people are now gravitating towards that. It's because you've gone so far to the extreme of technology and all these other things that isn't working for your life, that now you're looking at, maybe I need a little herbal tea from my garden. Maybe I need to simplify. Maybe I need to limit the amount of technology that I have in order to progress further and feel better about myself. Because when you wean yourself off of that, you're going, something's not right. People are not okay with just sitting in their own quiet, feeling their own power, utilizing, their heart or their mind. They soothe themselves otherwise. And so I think there is, especially with the work that everybody has done last year, a coming to the crescendo of, I need to work on me. I need to focus on me. I need to get myself better. How am I going to do that? Mind, body, spirit, right? And I think too many people are too busy with this, body and the lip gloss and the spandex, and that's not what mind, body, spirit is, right?
No.
So we got to go back to the basics of what really truly matters, what makes our hearts happy, what soothes our mind, and what refreshes us naturally.
Yes. I know my husband and I, because we're getting up there. We're retirees. Face it. I'm not old. I know that.
You are not old. Try and keep up with that one.
But one thing that both he and I started doing is we started challenging our doctors. When we go in for our appointments, we're going, why am I on this? Now, granted, we're not on much. We are on minimal stuff.
Yeah.
But I go in, and I don't advocate this for anybody to do something on your own. You talk to your doctor. And we have done that too. We have talked to our doctors first before we have initiated any changes.
Right.
But we challenge them saying, why? And when they give us an answer, because I'm known for the 5 whys, say why again. And then when they give you that answer, ask them why again. Because eventually you'll get down to some truth in what's going on in the medical field, in the pharmaceutical field.
Oh, yeah.
Because that stuff is not natural.
Right.
Now, is some of it good for us? Let's say some of it is necessary for us. Let's put it that way. So I am not advocating for anybody to change their medical routine without talking to their doctor. But talk to your doctor. Challenge them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm all for that. I actually a little epiphany. I went to my doctor and he was talking me into or not into something. And I sat back and I looked at him and I said, is this what you would tell your mom? Or if you had a daughter, would you be having her take this, and tell me why or why not?
Great questions.
And he sat back what are you talking about? And I'm like, because I wanted to be treated like your family, that I'm going to trust what you tell me, not because of other things, but because it's the right thing. And that's what you would do for your own family. And he changed his opinion. Wow. Treat me not as a patient, but treat me as somebody who is valued, that you care about. That changed the whole dynamics of our conversation.
Absolutely.
So I'm an absolute advocate of advocating for yourself. If you're questioning something, good. That means the little gray matter is actually working. But are there other things holistically you can do? Not to get off, but maybe to aid or to wean yourself off because you're doing things more holistically. I'm all good with turmeric. I am good with, I'm adding that into my pasta sauces. I, eat beets for your heart and your blood pressure. I put cinnamon in my coffee. There are so many things. Raw garlic. You can do so many things. Pumpkin seeds. Just take a more holistic approach and watch the benefits that you get. And then you can have those conversations with your doctors later on. But this is, once again, the information that people are looking at. Like I said, technology, medical technology. I think, especially with knowing what January they're going to be talking about our medical plans, etc. I think there's going to be a lot of open dynamics about information that we haven't been given, that is going to come about through the media. So there's going to be like a media connection. I keep hearing like,
Yep.
Not being told all the information, not hearing the truth, finally hearing the truth from other outside agencies. I don't know. There's something with the media about being exposed and feeding us incorrect information for agendas. And now people are going to go, what?
Right. Well, and the caveat with this, though, is because we have access to everything under the sun, is be wary of the snake oil salesman. There's a lot of stuff out there with supplements and things that are like, oh, this is the miracle cure. This is what's going to do this for you and that for you. It's like buyer beware. Do your research. Don't just take it, at face value.
Right.
So we need to put a caveat on with that as well. Michael, Archangel Michael, is the advocate that you need in this, because first of all, he's going to give you the courage to ask those questions of your doctor, of a company, of friends and family, wherever the questions need to be asked. So Michael is going to be right there with you, guiding you in that conversation, along with Gabriel. Between the two of them, you're going to feel empowered to have the conversations, and then you're also going to be guided in that. Jophiel is going to help you then with discerning what you're taking in. All of this information. There's going to be times where you're probably going to get a little overwhelmed and overloaded.
Yeah.
Just sit back with Jophiel and listen for what your gut's telling you. I can't say it enough. That intuition, that gut feeling, that's your angels. And that's going to be Jophiel in particular. And then when you've got that sorted out, then tap into Uriel, because Uriel brings you the wisdom. Not that you don't have it. It's there. Uriel is going to pull it out of you. It's already within you. Uriel is just going to be the one nudging you, going, it's there. Look for it. It's there. You've got the answer. So those are the angels that are going to be most up front.
I am so not schooled like you are, obviously. So my catch-all is Michael. I just wrap myself around him. And
always a good one.
Do your thing. For communication, though, specifically this month, there's going to be issues with communication between the 3rd all the way to the 10th, the 6th being the high point. Who would you call on if you have to have tough conversations, or you're at work and you need to say something correctly? Who would you call on for the help?
Definitely. I keep losing my earpieces here. My communication is faulty today. New earpieces, everybody. Always Gabriel. Gabriel is your communication guru. Okay. Just think of Gabriel as the chatty Cathy. But you actually need all 4 of those archangels. It's not just one. It's Michael for the courage to have the conversations. It's Gabriel to be guiding you through the conversations. It's then Jophiel for the discernment, and then Uriel to find the wisdom then in all of it. Metatron is going to be there. I also have Metatron written down. Metatron is going to help with stabilizing your nervous system.
Oh, good.
Your nervous system is going to go woohoo, 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 all over the place as we're moving through this time. Yeah. And so you're going to need to call on Metatron to keep you level and balanced with your nervous system. And there's a lot of different ways that can be done. I'll save a few of those things. So kind of as we wrap up the show here, I'm sliding down in my chair too. I don't know. I'm just trying to finish out 2025 with a bang or something.
Slipping and sliding into the new year.
That'll be interesting. But yeah, so I mean, and like I said, people who listen regularly, some of this stuff will sound like repeat to you because some of these things are just a given. Mm-hmm. If you don't know the angel's name to call on, just say enlightened love, angels, right. This is what I'm looking for. Just guide me.
Right.
And then sit back. Sit with them.
Yeah. Let me look at my notes. I know I'm missing something. Oh yeah. So towards like mid-month, I think there's going to be shakeup. So I don't know if it's like Ukraine and Russia. I don't know if it's like Venezuela ousting somebody. There's going to be a new order, a new regime, something contractually new in the world system. So starting like mid-January towards the end, things are going to be shaken up there. So I don't know if that'll impact people, like if they have oil, market stuff going on. Just be aware that you'll probably see that in the news mid to late January.
Yep. Yeah, I know one of the pieces that the angels kept saying, because a lot of times they'll just talk to me in just words here and there.
Right.
Friction. Yeah. And that sounds like what I'm hearing you saying is.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have a major, huge impact on the United States itself, but I feel like globally there's a lot of shifting going on. And then I keep hearing the shaking, quaking. So I would say later part of January into February quakes, a shaking up of the energy, a shaking up of things in the world. But this month, if I highlight anything about it, it's going to be communication.
Yep, I would agree. One of the things too, as I'm looking at my notes too, is that people need to now start clearing out all of this emotional unrest within them. And I think that harkens back to some of the anger pieces, and just move past it, because it's hurting you mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's not doing you any favors. And so that's one of the big pieces. And just ground. Everybody just needs to get back to the basics.
Yeah.
And get yourself grounded back to some sensibility and some basics, and root yourself. Dig deep with the natural connections that we've been given, because they're healing,
Right.
is what they are.
I think you're like so spot on that. I think with the letdown from the holidays, having family, all that connection, etc., good or bad, because let's face it, not everybody has a wonderful Christmas. Sometimes it's putting up with people you don't want to put up with for the holiday. We still have that letdown from that. So I think you're absolutely on point with the how am I going to reset? How am I going to align? How am I going to make intentions? And I was watching the other day, as I'm scrolling through my phone like everybody else, I came across Dustin Perry. And Dustin had mentioned something about how much life are you living? You're living, you're breathing, you're looking through your phone, you're doing this, you're going to work, how much are you really living? How much are you intentionally being present? How much joy did you get from that interaction? Are you living, or are you just existing? And I think that's what we need to really carry on and highlight. January, I'm going to start living. I am going to do this for me. I'm going to take this trip that I've been dying to take. I'll pay it off eventually, do it, live. Don't just say, I'm going to go to the gym. No, go to the gym. Go to the gym. Go put your credit card down, non-refundable. They're going to keep charging your card unless you go. We need to be more intentional about our health, our spirituality, our mental, our physical. We need to take care of us. We need to take care of our experiences and really highlight what we want to do with this year. Be intentional about your year and make it happen.
Yep. I lost one of my earpieces. I'm down to one earpiece, and that was a great place, I think, for us to sign off for January 2026, Jen. I've got some really good information, if you will, for the light workers and the empaths that I will put in the description of the podcast rather than doing it here, because I want to end on this note that you said, get out there and just live. I think that is perfect. So, Jen, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks again for joining Chaplain Jodi on Survivor Angels. For more information, go to chaplainjodi.me. That's chaplainjodi.me. And on Facebook at Survivor Angels-Chaplain Jodi. This is Dave Schrader. Until next time, sending you off to activate your angels.